high call series.
So, morning children. So, we have completed a very beautiful lesson about the animals around us, right? Okay, now it's time for us to do the activity and the exercise part of this particular lesson. So, the exercise part of this lesson starts with the think and answer section. So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 questions here. Okay, so some can be questions and some can be incomplete sentences. Okay, so some are questions and some are incomplete sentences. So what should we do now? Yes, we have to read these questions and see with every question there are some options also. See A, B, C. Right? So with every question we have got some options also. So we need to read the question or the incomplete sentence. Right? Check with the options that we have, and based on what we have studied in the lesson, we need to complete these sentences or answer these questions. Okay? So we need to read these questions or the incomplete sentences. Right? Then we need to check with what we have learned in the lesson, and based on that, we need to find the correct answer out of the options available. Got it? Now, which one is a big animal? So, we have learned it. So different kinds of animals are there. Some are big, some are small. Very small animals are also there, like insects. Right? So, we have 3 options here: a mouse, an ant, and an elephant. So, we know mouse is a small animal. Ant is still more small an animal, and that is called an insect. Elephant is the largest animal on land, isn't it? Elephant is the largest animal on land. So, which one is a big animal? Elephant is a big animal. Now, which one is not a wild animal? So, what do you mean by wild animal? Yeah, animals that live in a forest is called a wild animal. So, which one is not a wild animal means what? Yes, which of this animal doesn't live in a forest? Okay, so if we check which of this animal doesn't live in the forest, then we can understand which one is not a wild animal, isn't it? So, first one is lion. Lion is called the king of forest, isn't it? So, it's living in a forest. Second is a zebra. Zebra, we want to grow at home, no? It's also living in the forest, so that is also not the right answer. Third one is a dog. Dog is a domestic animal, domesticated animal. We grow them as a pet also, isn't it? So what's the right answer? Dog. Third one, cow gives us what? So we know we have domesticated some animals. We have started growing some animals at home for different purpose. Like from some animals we get milk. From some animals we get wool. From some animals we get flesh, isn't it? So those animals which we grow at home for the purpose of getting milk, meat, flesh, fur, egg, they are called domestic animals. And we know cow is an example for a domestic animal. And what do we get from a cow? Do we get the wool from a cow? Wool we get from a sheep, isn't it? Yes, a sheep. Sheep give us a wool. Milk. Yes, we get a milk from cows. Cow gives us milk. Egg? No way. Eggs are laid by birds like a hen and ducks, isn't it? So we grow hens, ducks, goose, etc. for the purpose of getting eggs. So what is the answer? Milk is the answer. So cow gives us milk. Then, which one is a bird? So birds are those animals which can fly, isn't it? Yeah, they have got the wings and they can fly. So the options are a parrot, a grasshopper, and a butterfly. Parrot has wings and it can fly. Right? Grasshopper has wings, it also can fly. Butterfly you know, butterfly is flying from one flower to other in the garden, isn't it? So all the three can fly. Now, what is the second difference? Grasshopper is a small animal and they are actually insects. Butterfly also is very small and they also come under insects. Why? Yes, they have 6 or more legs, isn't it? How many legs does a parrot has? Parrot has only 2 legs. Grasshopper, 6 legs. Butterfly, 6 legs. So small animals, some of them may even fly, which has 6 or more legs are called insects. So grasshopper and the butterfly, they are small in size, they can fly and yes, they have 6 or more legs also. So they are insects. And what is a bird? Parrot is a bird. Right? So now I will answer all these ones in this frame and then we will read it once again. Okay? Which one is a big animal? Elephant is a big animal. Which one is not a wild animal? A dog is not a wild animal because it is a pet animal or a domesticated animal. Cow gives us milk. Cow gives us milk. Which one is a bird? A parrot is a bird. Right? So now I will keep this frame the same for another minute for you so that you can read it and understand these answers and the question once again. So now we have come on to the next type of question, that is think and answer. Fill in the blanks. So 4 sentences are given here. In all the 4 sentences there is one blank each. So we need to read this sentence based on what we have learned in the lesson. We need to identify the answer for these 4 statements. Right? So we need to read the 4 statements. Based on what we have learned in the lesson, we need to find the answers for these questions. Right? First sentence. Dash animals help us in many ways. We have learned about the classification of animals. Some are called wild animals, some are called domestic animals, some are called pet animals, isn't it? So from which animals do we have some kind of help? Wild animals live in forest and we do not have much help with the wild animals. Domestic animals are animals that we grow at home and we have got some kind of help from them. Like some animals give us milk, some gives us egg, some animals give us flesh, some animals give us fur, and some animals we use for carrying loads, pulling carts, plowing land. Some animals like horses even are used for transportation also for our journey. Isn't it? Yes. And pet animals? Pet animals are those animals which we grow at home basically for the purpose to have some fun. We play with them, we spend time with them. It's not much of a help. Some animals like dogs and cats do help us, but domestic animals we grow only for the purpose of having some help, isn't it? Right? So the answer is, domestic animals help us in many ways. Which animals help us in many ways? domestic animals help us in many ways. 2. Dash give us wool. Which animal does give us wool? Yeah, domestic animals. We grow domestic animals for the purpose of wool also. But which is an animal? We rear sheep especially for getting wool. So we get the wool from a sheep. So what is the answer? Yeah, sheep give us wool. Sheep give us wool. Now, fish live in dash. Another classification of animals we have animals who live on land are called land animals. Some animals live in the water. They are called water animals, isn't it? So, what are the example for water animals? Yes, fish, octopus, jellyfish, sharks. So, where do fish live? Fish live in water. Fish live in water. Fourth one, dash have 6 legs. Animals have 4 legs. Birds have 2 legs. Fish doesn't have any legs. But there are some small insects, some small animals whom we call the insects which have a minimum 6. There are insects which have got more than 6 legs also, like a spider has 8 legs or a centipede has around 100 legs. Right? So dash have 6 legs. Who have 6 legs? Insects have 6 legs. Right? So now I will have the answers over here and we will discuss the answers once again. Yes. Domestic animals help us in many ways. The sheep give us wool. Fish live in water. Insects have 6 legs. Okay. Domestic animals help us in many ways. Sheep give us wool. Fish live in water. And insects have 6 legs. Okay. So now I'll keep the screen the same for another minute so that you can have a look at all these sentences once again. Right? Okay. Now we have come on to the next one. Think and answer. Right? So write true or false. Means what? Yes, you see here are 5 sentences. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need to read all these 5 sentences and check with what we have learned in the lesson and identify whether these statements agree with what we have learned in the lesson. Right? If what these sentences are and what we have learned in the lesson are the same, then we consider this statement as a true one. If there is a difference in between what we have learned and what is here on the sentences, then we state it as a false. Okay? If it agrees, then it is true. If it doesn't agree, then it is a false statement. Right? So, the first sentence, all animals are big. Are all animals big? There are animals of different size, isn't it? Yeah, there are animals like elephant, which is very huge. Some animals like buffalo, ox, cow, horse are big animals. Then a rat, a rabbit, they are small animals. Then we have butterfly, grasshopper. Then there's ladybug, mosquitoes, house flies, spiders, they are very small, isn't it? We call them insects. So, are all these animals of the same size? And imagine a housefly or a mosquito just like that of an elephant, or an elephant at the size of a mosquito. Impossible, isn't it? They are of different sizes. So, is the statement right? All animals are big? No, there are small and tiny animals also. So, that statement is a wrong one. Right? Now, domestic animals live with us. So, we have learned in the lesson that we grow some animals, we domesticate some animals and we grow them along with us. From home, we get some animals will help us in many ways, and with some animals we'll have some fun as well. Right? So those animals, those who help us in many ways are called domestic animals, and we grow them along with us, isn't it? If we grow cows, we'll have a cow shed for that. If we grow hen, we'll have a pen for that. For sheep, again a pen will be there for that, isn't it? Yes, we give them the facilities and we grow them along with us, isn't it? Pet animals, that they grow along with us in the home itself, inside the home itself, most of them. Okay? So, domestic animals live with us is a right statement. It's a true statement. Third one, some animals live on the trees. We were discussing the place where different animals live. Lions and tigers, they live in a den. Animals like monkeys and squirrels, they live in the trees. Animals like buffaloes, giraffes, donkeys, and all, they live under the tree. Then rabbits, they live in the burrow. Snakes and rats, kinds of things, they live in holes. Right? So in this, as we have already said it, animals like monkeys and squirrels, they live in trees. So that statement also is a true statement. Fourth one, birds have wings which help them to fly. Birds are animals which live in the air, and they have a special organ in their body called wings, with which they fly in the air, isn't it? So, birds have wings which help them to fly is a true sentence. All insects can have wings and can fly is a fifth sentence. We have seen that insects are very small animals, and some of them have wings, isn't it? Some of them can fly. For example, ant is an insect. Can an ant fly? Can an ant fly? Or spiders are there. Spiders are also insects, isn't it? The 8-legged animals, spiders, can they fly? But butterflies or dragonflies or houseflies or mosquitoes or ladybirds. Okay, so these kinds of insects can easily fly from one place to other, but not all insects, right? So as all insects cannot fly, this statement is a false one, right? So now I will give the answers for all these 5 statements and we will discuss it once again. See, all animals are big is a false statement because there are animals of different sizes. Some are very small, some are small, some are medium sizes, some are big, some are large, some are very large. Domestic animals live with us. Yes, domestic animals help us. We take care of them, so they live with us. Some animals live on trees. It's a true statement because animals like monkeys, squirrels, etc. live on trees. Birds have wings which help them to fly. Birds are the kind of animals which can fly, and they fly with their wings, and so the statement is a true one. Last one. All insects have wings and can fly is a false statement because insects like ants, spiders, etc. they cannot fly. Okay, so the statement is a false one, right? So all animals are big is a false statement. Domestic animals live with us is a true statement. Some animals live on trees is a true statement. Birds have wings which help them to fly is a true statement. All insects have wings and they can fly is a false statement, right? So now I'll keep the screen the same for another minute so that you can read these sentences once again, right?